Experience. I'm going to imagine your passport, right? I get best statement. What I did, I didn't call you. I you question, yeah. Man, so you got one road there. Call you know why? Yeah. I go to the place. When I go to they call my son Blue. That yeah, call Blue. Yeah, you got one.
One other guy went there. One other guy went there. Asked the question, sir. If you give this visa, will you return back? He said the guy told his man. Cause you wanna lie. If our country give me visa, I will come back.
I'll never come. I don't give
you. I give you visa for your
own state. Go. Be honest.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
But I see one woman to play. I go to play. I see one woman the woman go for her. The woman go and quickly now for her grand to take her grandchild. They won't get home. I don't say no. The money can stay. I will go. I will go back home. I hear about playing the question. As I go and take my grandchild, if you ask me playing the question, I let somebody won't go stay in quickly.
Yeah. Well, I be here all my
man. Lie, man. I can go. Give me your passport. Come back Thursday. You get it.
Oh, chicken.
Yeah, chicken. I'm gonna say too much pressure. And I think for that, I think you standing or you can say it on answer question. You standing or in front of me. You standing or in front of me, man. Out of question, man. Feeling man. Wow. Y'all don't be bringing walking to the play again. And Tango Dada, you don't want to call. Y'all be bringing the
But honestly, Pap, the coming presidential elections, I'm a Trumpist. And you know what? The Democrats are shifting now from their initial policy. Initially, they were saying that Trump wasn't fit, Trump can lie, Trump is a criminal. And then the Republican, we were saying, because I'm a Republican, we were saying that the woman is old. The woman is old. They making I even remember where he was standing. He went in court for a debate, and my man,
the bring went play.
So guess what? Kamala Harris, a campaign team now, or the new campaign team, is even accusing us of aging now. They say, Donald Trump is now aging and old man. But we were saying that you guys are old.
And the dynamic of politics.
You know, but actually the election is going to be very, very tense. Even though we predict the Trump win, but it will be very close.
It will be very close. That's something. And another thing I was looking at the other day, yesterday, for the brief time, because when Biden stepped aside,
they're going Sunday. I think Sunday or Saturday.
Sunday morning.
Between Sunday and yesterday, they rallied financial something. The people have already rallied 100 million. They won't get a convention, They already got 100 million. So it just to show you that that it will be close.
So this is where we see the Democrats are a party of the super rich, the people who marginalize the working class and get rich. So, mind you, the working class are the highest number of voters, and they are going to vote for the Republican. Yes, they will vote for us. Okay. We are going to win a landslide.
All right,
we are going to win it.
All right, thank you, Henry, for your analysis on that. Although you say you're Trumpist, right?
I'm a Trumpist.
I know he stand to benefit when Trump be president in America.
Visa.
I know he stand to benefit, but
I don't know why any other president will benefit when Democrat be in power.
Yeah, there will be a couple of benefits, but to see Trump coming back second time around to run America with Kamala in the picture, she's a female, being vice president. I think she'll win couple of support from the female angle. You guys looking at it one-sided. I think she's a young lady, served before a couple of years. Now she's vying for the seats. She getting a couple of support from the female in America. Yeah. A couple of governors from some of the states.
Well, you get support from blue states.
Yeah.
So you got the blue states and the red states.
Even in some of the Republican states,
in
when you have
states,
female, they might not be many, but some of them are giving the support for Kamala. And this election,
young people.
Yes. And you listen to what she said, her first statement against Trump. Because the day they announced the Trump barely announced the resignation, they gave it support to endorse her. 2 hours after Trump said it'll be one of the easiest ever election for him. He looking at it for a different angle.
Okay. So, but listen, one thing. Yes, it. the politicking of America politics is different.
Thank you,
Now,
Mr. President.
just as we are saying,
Yeah.
now, Kamala Harris, there has been an issue. Joe Biden appointed Kamala Harris to handle the border crisis in terms of illegal flow of migrants from the southern border for the Caribbean islands and then coming to Mexico. That was a complete failure on her part. That is undisputed. Now, this election is about the economy, it's about migration.
You're talking a lot about
migration. Trump is a guy who is saying that we should build a wall, and I know this is where you are coming about telling me why I stand to benefit. Trump is against illegal migration. Legal migration, Trump is in favor of it. When Barack Obama was in the presidency, in the Oval Office, Barack Obama had this policy of where when they catch illegal migrants, they will take your child from you. They send you somewhere, almost like a prison, so to speak. You will be there, and then they take your child, different place, and they get people attending to your child or taking care of your children. When Trump came, Trump abolished that. Yes, Trump abolished that. Money. And say, oh, since they are already here, then they reunite with their families. All right. So now coming back to the current reality, there's a serious border crisis to the southern border. There's a serious migration crisis. People, criminals are trooping into America. Even terrorists. Terrorists are trooping into America through the southern border, through illegal migration. And now they are taking jobs from people. Besides taking jobs, they are not being vetted properly.
But you know what Trump said I disagree? Let me tell you what Trump said I disagree. It sounded childish to me.
Yeah, Trump.
Donald Trump. He said something that sounded very childish during the convention. He said that he was discussing the migrant issue, the illegal migration issue. Then he said, and they are taking away a lot of jobs from you black people.
Yes, he said that. He mentioned that.
What made me to get vexed? Why specify blacks?
What made you say Hispanic people?
Hispanic.
So those are minority people, but I think just wanted to pass sentiment.
You say minority people again.
But no, I mean minority group. Yeah, he's just trying to pass sentiment for me. I saw with the pap. And that wasn't very metropolitan.
His motive was to pass sentiment, but there was too much sarcasm.
Okay, but
yes.
And there was too much sarcasm and segregational or tune to what he was saying.
Yes. Thank you, Pap. So we'll come back home shortly. Before we come back home,
I won't move to America.
Before we come back home, it was known that in American history, they have never ever elected a female president.
No, never.
But she broke the record to be the first ever female vice president.
Yes.
So are you insinuating?
I'm not ruling it out to say, maybe Trump will not win. But you can't rule it out. So now
it's a competition.
Sometimes on doors can come and become
these elections.
These elections.
Come November 5th. I can put my neck on the line for this.
It's on record. The show is on record.
You cannot determine a winner from today.
Yes.
Even though the polls,
very close.
All of the polls, opinion polls that have been conducted,
will be very
place Trump ahead.
It will be
even when Biden was there. I saw 43.
But one thing, like probably maybe they are close from my end, and like I'll follow suit from the path. This is a very close election. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of stakes that are high, and they are placed on the table. While it's true that as a Trumpist, I know that we are going to win, but it's not going to be an easy ride.
It's a tight election.
And it's a very tight election. All options are on the table. Yes.
So what do you think will happen in America if Trump wins from your angle?
We are going to have peace globally.
There's no peace globally?
No, we're having a lot of chaos in the world.
There's
no peace globally?
No, but you can see war fighting in Europe. No, listen now. One thing. Trump is
so the Ukraine war
is unified. Trump said he's going to stop that war in 24 hours. In 24 hours.
You know, Trump would brag on a couple of things.
Trump Green War is a 24 hours. 24 months.
Kim Jong-un. When he said no American president or no American diplomat could ever meet Kim Jong-un, Trump met him and they shook hands.
The longest handshake among diplomats in the world, 13 seconds.
Trump is a peace icon. Let me tell you, the Western, yes, the fake news propaganda has always been against Trump because he's a realist. Now, I'm telling you about global peace. There are going to be no inflation or low inflation. Inflation is going to be very low. In the US.
You're assuming that?
Yeah, as soon as Trump wins. The Republicans are people who are strong on the economy, and the Democrats are strong on foreign policy. The US national interest. When American men tell you, say, don't play with the US national interest, my brother, you better run. So Trump is going to pay more attention to the economy, and he's also going to talk and pay more attention on global peace.
We hope and pray that happens for America, because for me, I respect America. I respect their policy. Whatever they do in their country, whatever president they have, we support it.
Yo.
They are the giant in the war.
Because for me, I get my JMBU.
And America is going to be respected.
I'm picking Joe inside. I say for me, I would anybody that will accept me, I get my picking here already. President JMB.
Okay, so let's come back home as we said.
But officially close America.
Let's talk about the independence celebration in around Liberia with the citizens now with the government issue.
Okay.
With the citizens.
Yes,
as you've been observing, moving along. You around Congo Town, you always in Central Monrovia. Yeah. You get called from outside Monrovia.
That's it.
The fever, as respects former President George, we are in this term. How do you see the atmosphere, the euphoria with July 26th celebration now?
The question, my question?
Perhaps a question.
First thing first, I want to say that.
They ask the man as
Yeah, I want to say something.
What you say?
I want to respectfully say.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
That the whole 26 euphoria, the whole fever.
Yeah.
It has increased the begging level hardly. There's a lot of begging going on.
What do you mean increasing begging level? It's a new government. They're trying to do well.
From the time I know Liberia, July 26th season has always been a season of heavy begging.
So
begging from the youth to the old, the small children. See you, man. 26. The water you in the street, you don't have something. It's embarrassing. You don't have money in your pocket. The water is in the dress of the parent, dress them up and encourage them to beg. The parent get it, the parent buy them clothes and send them out to beg. I'll be very honest.
It's a national day of begging. Yeah, Pap, I think it's a national day of begging.
It's a national begging day.
But begging is always happy because even
that's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. Tango do that.
But one thing, Mr. Appeton. Yeah. One thing that Pap said, I think culturally.
Yeah.
Because it has become a norm and a habit.
Yeah.
I'll be very frank with you, brother.
Norms and habit.
Yes, because of the upbringing, wherein people will grow up with a mentality, with a mentality of always looking down upon themselves to be low and always engaged in the begging. I'll tell you this today. Just on Sunday, I sent a text message through WhatsApp to my old man, on the other side, and the other woman said, "Hey, are you seriously kidding me?" And I just laughed. Because you are just telling me that as big as you are asking me for 26.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So what are some of the factors?
So they currently, I don't want to draw a comparison, but for me, if you put me in a context currently, the economy is very tough. Once as we speak, where I work, where I do my hustle, today is the 24th.
Yes.
Up to now,
your phone not ring, right?
Everywhere you go, you need to looking for a light.
You know what hurting me once and back.
No, Once I receive call from everywhere, no alert.
All right.
So it tells you that it is a moment of intense begging.
You know, let me just give you a lay historical or gist.
Yeah. Because if it's the reason why before you come with a reason why I asked the question, if you can recall, all right, it was ex-president George Manawia regime.
Yeah.
There was a 26 that was coming.
So we had 6 26s. Remember that? 6.
And we saw Marfina Bono having the money in the bag, passing it around the
minority.
People were enjoying themselves.
Minority.
No minority.
Vast minority. Let me just say something.
So let's take Brian. Did I know Brian's online? He said. Did I know Brian? What's up? How you doing today?
Dimango Brian.
I'm doing good, brother. How you guys doing?
Dimango.
We're doing perfect, too, sir.
Yeah. How you guys doing? I listen to you guys. I have some disagreement with Henry in studio. Okay.
Yeah.
He talking. I heard he talking about the Republican, and I heard he talking about the Democrat. And let me get into he provided some wrong information concerning the current competitiveness that is going on in America. That everywhere currently the opinion pool Trump is in the lead. That's not true. The Democrat came out with comparative analysis yesterday.
But what do you expect for Democrat to do?
No, please, I'm talking about CNN. Please, I'm talking about CNN.
When was the last poll that was done nationally?
Education, Henry, let provide education.
Yeah.
Henry, let provide education. Please, provide education. CNN is one of the most respectable networks in the world. Days before Kamala Harris announced, Trump was always in the lead over Biden. Wiley. The day she was announced, 2 days later, competitive match between Trump and Kamala was 2-2 all over. Later, they're going to 4-2. Kamala is in the lead. Kamala right now is running with the youth population in America, cross-cutting between Republicans and Democrats. The race is now easy race that Trump that anybody, the Pop said, nobody can determine who's going to win on stage.
The Pop said he can say that
now.
It's
a competitive process right now in America. It's a cross-cutting thing because Kamala, yes, sir, Pop.
Delano, just remember where you were, big. I just want to remind you about something quick, and me and you stay in the same. Me and you stay with the same position.
Yes, sir.
Donald Trump, according to the polls, in my opinion, went above the Republican went above the Democrat simply because of as a result of the debate.
Exactly.
The debate brought a lot of skepticism. Negative skepticism on the side of the Democrat. Omer Biden, he was sleeping.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he was sleeping.
And even prior to that, Trump was also in the lead. He was also in the lead. Most of the polls, Trump was always in the lead over Biden. What increased significantly was his poor performance during the debate. But let's come back to a few things you talk about. The Republican and the Democrat eat the people money. They don't create jobs. Do you know when Trump was president in America, Trump introduced a law, passed a law to Congress that children born in America should not be citizens of America? Do you know Trump did that? And was thrown out? Trump did that. Trump sent that law that anybody born in America should not be citizens. You also talk about immigrants. When Trump was president, Trump passing the immigration law in America. That was one of the first things when you drive in, the policeman will stop you. The policeman will ask you for your document. It will never happen in America. I Blue will tell you. As I went to the state, I will tell you. The Republicans, they pay low wages. Go to Texas. Go to Virginia. Virginia is a Republican state that is very racist. Go to Texas. That is one of the most underpaid states where you have leave a Republican. Okay? You talk about they bring up people in, the free migrants coming in, they don't pay them money, they use them, they dump them. And that's the problem there in the Democrat, yes, we agree at some point they encourage other laws to get right, other things they encourage us. That's the big difference between Trump and Democrats, that they don't encourage the gay right. And I will tell you that's a big comparison difference between the Democrat and Republican. They don't support gay right. So, and I will tell you here before I leave the land, don't overlook this race. Kamala, she's been around for a long time. She's well known. People don't like Trump because Trump is a body 3 years there between Trump and Biden. I think there's some 3 years. Somebody should be older Trump 3 years different.
But then what? Biden do woman very plenty or what?
So Trump is going. So and the vice president we Trump have picked. The vice president is very popular. Yeah, Van is very young. He's not known in the state. He's not well known compared to Kamala. So
Jerry Vane, who wrote a best-selling book, slow down.
I want to hear Trump and Kamala in a debate.
No, I'm just going. Listen,
Kamala, Blue will be a disaster. It will be a disaster for Trump.
Yeah, they were eating. Yeah, make it.
You listen to the woman talking. Blue, the woman has the stage.
That woman has
been.
I mean, how much you no stage,
man? So Trump got 1 year now.
That woman took over California. That woman ran the.
So you tell me that how much so suffer to get that money with Hillary Clinton?
That woman, listen to me. That woman ran California as the Anthony General for California.
Exactly.
California is the richest state in America. California controls America's economy. California. She was the lead counsel for California. That woman telling you about?
Yeah.
So read about her on her. Read about her. Read about her later. Read about her later.
I just hearing him to hearing Trump.
You need hearing Trump now.
Listen, Tilano, listen.
Yes, sir.
First News is just reporting that we are proposing a debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump on September 17th. We are hoping that she accepts. We are hoping that she accepts.
Challenging you in the
because Joe Biden did, and so we want to do a reverse because the Fox News is a Republican GOP news outlet, and CNN is a and CNN is a DNC outlet. So we are hoping that she accepts. But currently, as we stay in the polls, Trump. Currently, we're CNN poll. My man, CNN are fake news, my man.
Fake news.
Fox, yeah. Because Trump is starting in the lead, then you can say.
Fox are dog. I already are dogs, my brother.
If Fox say she sliding,
yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Demand good.
But Delano.
Yes, sir.
All the polls are having Kamala leading.
Yeah. But Bernard, you know America. You know Americans and Americans. You know us sitting over here. You well informed when it comes to Americans when they love you.
Demando.
That's one of the yes, sir.
The man he represented the Niger is honorable. Who the mean is honorable?
No, I can say yes, sir. I'm the infrastructure advisor to the representative 17.
My man, I just gave you a hard time,
So on Sunday when Biden announced that he was leaving the race, Kamala Harris raised $48 million within 2 hours. $45 million just within 2 hours. Just within 2 hours. That's one of the first time ever in America. In a week, less than 4 days, she raised close to $1 billion. As I speak to you.
Damn, I was steal.
$1 billion.
No, we don't see the money.
If I was steal, I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
Timano.
Yes, sir, Pops.
Before we tell Liva you, I want to say thank you so much. You're one of the presenters of HOTT FM that always listen to your colleagues program. I want to tell you thank you so much.
Thank you.
And continue the good work.
Thank you, Pop.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you, sir, Pop. Thank you.
God bless you.
Guys. Thank you. Thanks the representative for the great work he keeps doing.
Yeah,
we following his work and let him continue doing. Blue is becoming very, very, very permanent in Liberia. But since he going into the political arena, he's reachable. That's the most thing we're talking about. Having a lawmaker be down to earth. He's been all of the loose corner in 17 and telling all of the graduation I live in the district for over 10 years. I haven't seen a lawmaker attending all of this. Every program people inviting is there physically. Not saying representative, but he's there. Blue, I hope you continue for the next 6 years. I'm sure you can do it. Let's keep doing the best we can. May God bless your leadership and your team. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I also let it tell Royal, we got a Royal be driving.
Yeah, but so perhaps you saw Zidane was listening and he came straight at Henry and Trump Henry.
But Henry Trump, I'm a grandson.
Because if you check some of the pools now,
I
would that really don't rock?
I can talk about 20 now. Yeah, Tango. Yeah, the hype. Yeah, exactly. The pool is settled. Don't worry about them.
All right. So as the election progresses,
let's talk about the proper begging for 20 I do.
So let's get back to what you're talking about.
Yeah. So now I want to say here that when William V.S. Tubman was president,
you carry way back,
yeah, the begging was not too much. Tubman died. Tubman take over. The begging get more small, and a little bit more than Tubman. When Toba died, when Doto over the begging begin little bit more than Toba. When Toba died, Doto over the begging begin little more than Toba. When Doto died, the begging begin little bit more than when Toba. I don't saw them in the interim presidency. The begging claimed small more because men are going Ghana now. They learning Arico. They learning new way to beg. They start praising people now. They start praising. The new begging started telling praising. And you know that bro begging get a lot of praising inside. Hey bro, my dad, and hey godfather, daddy, mommy, all the things. So if you bring it down, if you check a begging rate, all the president from Tubman, imagine they claim me. Then they video bugger, oh no. Bugger, oh no. Right now. Somebody.
If you want to give percentage now, from 1 to 10, yes, that give a percentage now.
Every president can increase, so you can't do percentage. If you read from Tubman, it was there.
Yeah.
I ain't even go way back.
Not very high.
But now it over high because you know what I mean. Like remember I read to the play where if you were hustling before nothing doing and something doing now, that begging trait is still in you. You still won't pay. So you got money on, but you still won't pay. So people get money, but it's still begging. It increased the begging too much. Once year maybe today you are here riding car, how day you walk? You want to
I want once more.
I came to the building here today. I had to run inside.
Why?
I got 11,000 begging.
In addition, you know, some of us who hold small key position, chairman.
That your knee and
on a daily basis. We see a lot of calls, and sometimes you find it difficult to explain what is unfolding.
Yeah.
And especially so when you got proximity to leaders, people look up to
you but you get it.
And to make it worse, the last time a friend of mine took me to Niba Echo Lodge. Somebody said, but chairman enjoy.
Oh, you took picture?
I took picture.
No, but you don't do anything. Chairman
enjoy. Oh, chairman,
you get to your own picture. You keep it. You can't be looking at it.
So fast.
Yeah.
So,
but that woman, I say a few seconds. To be frank, it's tough. This is politics aside. It's tough.
Very.
Once a year, myself know the thousands of people who are calling to ask what we have received a light. No a lie. No a lie.
So is it hardship in the country or people are they enshrined to begging?
Two ways. It go to it, and you just answer the two questions. You answer you ask your question, you answer it. People it go to it. The hardship and people are just begging. But I tell you what, there has been a misinterpretation of the Independence Day celebration of Liberia. There are two misinterpretations that exist in Liberia. July 26th and December 25th. July 26th is the Independence Day of Liberia, the day Liberia obtained or proclaimed her sovereignty, her freedom.
Yes.
December 25th happens to be Christmas Day that Christians believe Jesus Christ was born. July 26th, now this is where the misinterpretation comes from. July 26th, that's my birthday, that's DJ Blue birthday, that's Wonsen birthday, that's Tango Jada birthday, that's Triple Chair birthday, that's the birthday of the Republic of Liberia. Nobody owe nobody nothing. Let me get this clear. Nobody owe nobody nothing on 26. I tell people, and this may sound harsh, but parents will have to nurture and groom their children, knowing that 26 don't expect nothing from me because it's not your birthday, it's not your natal day, it's not anybody in your family birthday, it's the birthday of Liberia, it's the day that Liberia gained her independence, and that should be it.
So don't put yourself.
Yes, let me tell you, you know how many parents put themselves in bank lines today only to because the children pressure. Yeah. Children, and some of the children PBO tango. Yeah. Some of the children 18, 20 year old, they because by the how they say they want 26 clothes. What you do with 26 clothes? Your school fee just 1.5 months from now.
No, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks, yeah.
School fee.
But Pop, so okay, go to the second part before I come in.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is a time of sharing. Giving, but sharing as in giving. Sharing. But that sharing should be voluntary. It should not be compulsory. And when Liberia people believe that if you don't get it next man Christmas, the man says my Christmas on you, and you don't get it in, you are being mean, you're being selfish. No, it should not be. The Independence Day celebration, we have 5 million. Out of the 5 million, 95% out of 5 million don't even know the significance of July 26th. They don't know what it means. They don't know. You ask some people what 26 for. Why about 20? They can't tell you. Yeah. So should I give you money or should I buy you new clothes because I brought King independent on this day? Are you more Liberian than me? Then let him put in the law that everybody should give everybody something. Then it will make sense. Liberian gave to Liberian, compulsory. Liberian gave back to Liberian. You give me, I give you. Barter system. But to be very real with you, people misinterpret 26. People turn their children into beggars. 26. People send their children, go to your uncle house and go to your auntie. Go over 20. Suppose the people don't have it. Look at the time of the month.
With that mentality.
They grow away. And that they gave it to the children gave it to their children, and it has been for 178 years. Yes. Liberia very old, my children. 178 years. 177. No, not far. 177 years. That's no joke. Liberia 177 years. You have countries that are 30 years. 30, 50, right? They right around all the countries are talking about the near or the right, and they way ahead of Liberia. Instead of Liberians thinking about progressing, they think about how to wear new jeans. They get women, our young women especially. I gotta fix my hair. 26 coming. And how much for the hair? 50 because of human hair in Brazil.
You don't 50 for human hair.
Brazil hair, no.
Human hair 175.
No. When you buy the hair to fix it, she already got the hair.
To fix it after around 40-50.
40-50. She not buy the hair for 150.
So that 200.
But maybe somebody not buy the hair. You gotta pay to fix it.
So you claiming 200 now?
You almost $2.
Just for hair.
And guess what? You use it now, and guess what? 26, you will get charged, you sleep. So that means that whole 26 you spending your day will be around 9-10 hours maximum. You spoil all that money between 9-10 hours. Tomorrow you even get cold ready warm
The next morning
to eat it. We have to curtail.
Yeah.
We have to stop being fake.
fake. Fake.
But Pops, I got one observation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Be hearing much. Ain't know about what I'm about to say. Alright, I haven't had much experience doing some of the ex-president's time, but
Yeah.
one of the time I had experience, that was former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I used to see anytime you see when the 26 coming, you see people painting the streets.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
with all
Yeah.
red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
You see LED ball all around the mansion, light up.
Yeah.
With light bulb flare all on the flagpole.
Yes.
But today you pass on the road, the street dirty. Say coach that the peanut play, I didn't peanut play again.
No, let me just about now and when I was coming, you know that when people there last minute.
Oh, they just start doing it?
Yes, we're to Centennial Pavilion.
Around that all.
Okay.
Because I think that is where they are going to have the program.
Yeah, so
imagine
now,
at 6 o'clock in the evening, I saw people standing on A4 ladder doing small painting. You understand?
What's the one I watch our day?
It was really
So last minute time. So they will even be doing it until the day. And then the day now they will just do packaging as we do.
Yeah.
They just do that packaging.
Packaging.
But that my grandpa said, it's becoming a culture. I will say this. When I was growing up in 2003 towards the end of the war, I lost my father. And at that time we used to write letter instead of just no phone.
No.
So you read letter, you want to do your best. Yeah. So I read people, begging people. It came a time I just, told myself, but what is this? This is complete nonsense. I'm not the only person that have lost a father, in the war. So why should I be reading people and vilifying myself? And the day my father, I said to hell with it. And I just came up with that decision to hustle, and I just started doing my legal hustle. Like you have to discipline yourself. You cannot say you working. Let's say you hustling for $100. Then you got a girlfriend who will want $200 hair.
No.
At the end of the day, you have to do something out of the way. If you cannot find it, you got to be begging.
But that will bring the begging.
That one leads to the begging because people are indisciplined your income. And then you end up in deficit all the time. So at the end of the day, even as the hardship is already viewing itself now, you have to go beyond borders. You have extra hardship.
Exactly.
You understand? And then you gotta indoctrinate yourself into begging, perpetual begging.
Yeah.
So it grows up from the kids. They grow up with it.
It's inheritance.
It's an inheritance. You understand?
Yeah.
It become a culture.
Thank you.
So right now as a country, every now and then we all around the place begging people to come and face our roads, because we started it from our small age, and now as we are growing up and then assume leadership, national leadership, we still do it by going around. Can you imagine we get people to come from Osa to come and face water pump machine or to do this to clean our streets? We had Zoom Lion here. Those are people from Ghana.
Zoom Lion,
They
I think they keep doing every time.
Yeah, they're going to clean our streets. So why can't we do it? You understand? So it's a serious national problem, and then the compound.
It's a pandemic.
It's a pandemic. So we need to start inculcating different sets of approach.
Exactly.
With our kids.
Yeah, sure.
You understand? And I'll be very frank with you. I told my daughter just now, I said, but you got close. 10 videos of people.
Where you going, Tango?
So I told her,
You know, when the church.
she understood. He said, yeah,
Christmas.
Daddy, I love it. Yeah.
Christmas, your Christmas.
Even I have the money for now that I have small deposit, but I just decided that no.
Tango the other day mentioned something again. Now we go back.
Yeah.
I remember 26. The old people drinking a gin, they drinking a beer, they drinking a stout. 26 that beat people day. 2 days that people day. 26 day New Year day that beat people day. The children at 26. Christmas, sorry. The children at Christmas. The little boys, they got a little new clothes, one suit for Christmas. They got a gun. They're playing. And they're not begging. They take them for ice cream, which was affordable. They take them for ice cream. They take them back home. You understand me? But 20 say the children start in the morning and now
and they get drunk.
They get drunk, yeah. They drink liquor, they do all kind. And guess what? You have pelophiles.
Yes.
Who are on the prey, on the
Yeah,
prowl.
on the prey. Yeah, they go and
they
prey
waiting,
on
yeah,
kids.
they praying on kids now because they know say you're vulnerable, you're begging.
Exactly.
So they acting like higher bidder.
Yeah, they take advantage.
They take advantage. A lot of children lose their virginity on 26,
holidays, on big
26, November 29 and Christmas.
November 29.
Top my birthday, or woman who smoke a lot of opium. Yeah, his birthday, people get smoke opium, get drunk, they stay all the day.
Papa,
beach
celebration,
day.
so
Mr. Abelard, moderator, Mr. Abelard, to be very fair with you, man. It's a
Is that
Yes.
it got very big after
Yes.
the war? It got very big after the
yes,
war.
because before the war,
Before the war, it was regulated. It was regulated.
yeah, right after the war, ain't no Mr. Abelard, there was a jump in the Tottenham birthday.
It can't. I won't quiet the boy. Just stay home and rely on that. But now, JJ Rao, I mean, top my birthday, and the thing where me top my birthday, danger again. November 29 is the first birthday after the rainy season. The first holiday after the first big holiday.
so anybody take advantage.
All the
Eh?
beaches.
I don't know, as an observation perhaps.
Yeah.
So we always know that around this time you will see people going for vacation job, where they will get something, you know.
It's not happening.
For
I
the next
don't know
semester, for the
why.
next school term, so it will be able to enroll.
Okay, their jobs.
But we're not seeing. I think 20 say you see people working to get
Maybe
something.
probably
for
get a
themselves.
history about it.
We ain't getting no. We ain't seeing that. What's happening?
Two things here. Two things here. That was the other day laughing, but I'm fine. Two things. The curriculum. Not the curriculum. The school term has changed. Back in the day, December, all the children need vacation job. The two things I wanted to say was kids are not independent minded anymore. They don't believe that they should work to earn when they still live with their parents. One. They believe that they should be dependent on their
Before
parents.
they start working,
Until I leave my mom and papa, I'm not work.
Yeah.
One. Two. Liberia, and I will always bring it level into Liberia. Liberian children believe in Liberians, not Liberians, Liberians as a whole, and Liberia as a country believe in donation, receiving donation, everything free.
Kasali.
Free.
Your hand open.
Free. I tell you something. When I remember, as far as I can remember, Lamco, bomb mines, government of Liberia in the 70s and 80s gave up vacation jobs to students from 7th grade to 12th grade. Yes. Lamco were paying around $75 a month. Yes, they long vacation when the children on now. That time I was December, so from November to January, or from November to February, you got a job. It had to take one file from one office to the next office. You own that one.
Filing clerk.
Yeah. Filing clerk, they're gonna lay, you know, those petty jobs, yeah. And you are smart, they give you a secretarial job. You helping the executive secretary to assemble document, carry document. $75. I you know where I know about it.
Yeah, because I think you work.
I wear Lamco. That's why I tell you about Lamco. I work in personnel. You understand me? Government is the companies, the industrial people, they call it vacation job. Government call it cadets. Government call it cadet. And guess what? Government will employ you when you graduate from high school. Immediately. And while you are in university, government, you will still be working in the ministry. You'll be doing as your same thing. But as you progress in college, your job improve with you. Your job improve with you. There are many people in Liberia, in past government, pre-war government, that work as cadets and later on became minister proper. The late John Gabriel Tucker, the man who built a bridge, he worked in the Department of Utilities and Works. Utility and Work. Public Work. Where you go? Public Work. Yeah, PUA. He worked in public work from cadet when he was in CWA in high school. He worked from 10th grade to 12th grade. Every vacation he worked in public work. He became a civil engineer. He became the man to build the bridge today. Like got Gabriel Tucker Bridge. Got New Bridge.
New bridge.
You understand me? Udu Gray, the man that built the Babangida Highway from Broadville to Sierra Leone. Udu Gray, still alive. Former Minister of Public Works. He was a cadet. The late John Sherman, the youngest to die among the 13 men from Toba, was a cadet at the Ministry of Commerce. Department of Commerce, later on Minister of Commerce. He became Minister of Commerce. John Sherman. You understand me? C. Cecil Dennis, who was a cadet from the College of West Africa, CWA, who later on went to Princeton. That rebel go school to Princeton. Became Minister of Foreign Affairs. After Momolu Dukle, the last Secretary of State, you have the Department Secretary of State, then they made him Minister of Foreign Affairs.
On the PRC?
No, on the Talbot.
Okay.
Come on, yo. So, come on, yo. Tell me, no boss me Siri. No Siri. High class Siri. What Momolu Dukle say is stupid. But where you coming from?
I'm just completely lost right now.
No, but then you shut up and wait for me.
If you got a child late, you can't reach this.
Yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, so we're talking about 20th celebration, but
man.
And let me tell you what me and Tango told them. And my grandson and Henry. 26 has turned into National Begging Day.
Yeah.
Finish.
Well, Pop, that is the trajectory the society has put the nation in.
I was saying, right?
The economic time and so forth. That is I mean, for me, it's just a normal thing, Pops. Yeah.
Every government claim, right? Every government person claim.
Yeah.
Begin claim. Top more one, top more. That one. Once it can be.
I remember. But we've redefined the celebratory activities of every new holiday now. Even the Christmas now how it used to be.
But it was fine or in Tango, yeah. That one, but are you clever?
Yeah, but of
that one was discussing.
Back in the days when Christmas came, you feel it in the air, man.
Yeah. Well, you feel Christmas in the air now like coronavirus.
But let me bring it back. We had this is the beauty of the Blue Show. Whenever you decide you come, you get your show playing. It's always something different.
So they can interfere in your show.
Yeah, and let me apologize to my people through some natural.
Let me explain.
Natural occurrence.
But let me tell you,
my stomach ain't lose my people.
Yeah. But that's someone from the Lulis. You know, you got Lulis.
But
Lulis.
But this is what we have for you guys today, and
brother, you want fire?
Yeah, let me fire. I'll let it go for like about.
But I tell the town for you.
No, 806 right now. Probably got a Labor Day. We don't work for nobody.
But people work for us.
You fuck out with Una.
But we don't Una. But let me tell you, I'm going to suspend you.
Sorry, Chief. Get some. I beg you, sir. You can't just look at me and suspend me like that.
But I'm talking about 2 minutes. I'll call you when you pay.
For no good reason.
When you get me to labor?
So there's this big thing about Firestone and the Warlord.
Damn it!
That is a deep documentary. Many things about the past, about Liberia. Lots of questions unanswered. Even the former president, in all her knowledge, President Ellen Johnson said, well, I didn't even know about some of these things. So this Firestone and the Warlord, Pop, is something. And we played that documentary before. PBS carried it.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So let me roll it just for a couple of minutes, and then Pop will come Because I think this documentary will take us 2 shows to complete.
Yeah, 2 shows to complete. But the Firestone Warlord heavy.
Right.
And then when we finish with Firestone and Warlord, I think we still got when Taylor arrived in Monrovia.
Yeah, Henry can remember, but
Yeah.
When Taylor arrived in Monrovia. We will try.
Tonight on Frontline, an iconic American company,
Firestone's intent was to make money.
a vicious civil war,
Whoever was going to run Liberia needed Firestone.
I can't apologize for war. Everybody has had a war.
the untold story of what happened in Liberia 25 years ago.
Our leader!
They were prepared to do Taylor's bidding.
Firestone, they did not pay off warlords or give money under the table, didn't do any of those things. They did the right thing.
Frontline and ProPublica investigate the deal.
I had not seen this, and it's kind of amazing.
In looking at these conflicts, it's always good to follow the money.
Tonight, Firestone and the Warlord.
Frontline.
Okay, bear with us a few minutes. Just bear with us. Bear with us shortly. Let's try to get it back on.
yeah, my microphone check out. But let me tell you something. If I'm talking, man, I'm testing my microphone. Your desk doing great.
Wait, anybody got iPhone? Yeah, please. Please,
But
guys.
I continue
Slow.
talking. I don't want to get
iPhone?
this. Doing great. I want a me man.
iPhone charger.
Is made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Major support for Frontline is provided by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. More information is available at macfound.org. Additional support is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to heightening public awareness of critical issues. The Ford Foundation, working with visionaries on the front lines of social change worldwide at fordfoundation.org. The Wincoat Foundation, and
Okay, bear with us shortly.
Bema.
Bear with us shortly. Okay. Let us try to.
Okay, so but I'm by you try and pay a short day. I'm gonna tell my people. Is if they documentary Firestone and so warlord is account vivid account. This is not any book. I don't ever for it. Vivid crate. So crate. Yeah. Okay. Account of what happened in the Firestone rubber plantation 1990 June. What happened, what the first battalion under Edward Mlane did in Firestone, and what was Firestone role in the Liberia civil conflict initially. You understand me? In one saying, tango the other stone great or you're here talking me. Firestone role that they play, whether they were for Taylor, whether supporting him, whether they never supported him, whether they lied and they never supported him. You guys see? You know, Bonat told me something. He said, you got the truth. You got my side, you got your side,
Then you got the truth.
You know what I'm saying? So whether they supported him, whether they never supported him, or whether they lied and they never supported him, Firestone on the War, the documentary get everything. And I in here, we're done with Junior to get personal in historic court and magistrate.
Right.
On what happened. You understand me?
And that is the whole relevance of this document. It's very important.
Exactly.
Part a lot of people have sent us message that they want to hear Firestone and the Warlord.
Firestone and the Warlord, that's something.
Yeah.
Firestone and the Warlord hold me and sit down in the pickup for 1 hour. I sit down in the pickup and listening, but I won't tell me something as a limit. I want to hear Firestone and Warlord. Dreamer Lagos moment viewers and listen.
And
credit.
And I think we also owe it to the people.
But I owe it to the people.
If they want it, let's bring it to them so they can hear it. Hold on a second.
But the problem with you that you're temoraged. The time was young where I can say you can call you journey with Nepal a movie. Is that movie? You can say movie, but now you gotta go do and pro ready to pay. And I'm ready to pay ye and all the thing. But you're ready to pay. Is it looking at me? Then you're all gonna son and giving. But I'm ready? Okay.
An iconic American company.
Firestone's intent was to make money.
A vicious civil war.
Whoever was going to run Liberia needed Firestone.
I can't apologize for war. Everybody has had a war.
The untold story of what happened in Liberia 25 years ago.
Our leader!
They were prepared to do Taylor's bidding.
Firestone, they did not pay off warlords or give money under the table, didn't do any of those things. They did the right thing.
Frontline and ProPublica investigate the deal.
I had not seen this, and it's kind of amazing.
In looking at these conflicts, it's always good to follow the money.
Tonight, Firestone and the Warlord. Business and war. It's a story about a small group of Americans and the choices they made many years ago. A story about the cost of operating in a volatile and remote country. Its setting is a rubber plantation in Africa, owned and operated by the tire giant Firestone.
I'm Charles Bradford Pettit and go by Brad. I worked 31 years at Firestone. I really kind of felt that we were above this war somehow, and that both sides wanted us there, and that so that they're going to leave us alone.
We were one of the largest, if not the largest employer in Liberia, certainly paying taxes to the government, certainly providing a lot of employment for locals, and we would hope that they would honor that and just leave us alone and let us continue to do what we were doing. Unfortunately, that didn't occur.
We'd been through several coups and nothing changed very much. And we just expected to go right back having a good life.
They helped run the largest rubber plantation in the world. A multi-million-dollar investment stretching over 220 square miles.
I don't think you ever realized how big it was. But yeah, my first impression was, hey, this is a beautiful forest. It's a beautiful country.
Oh, very pretty. The trees are all planted in a row and so forth, and a lot of humidity, a lot of rainfall, about 140 inches or more a year, and you can actually smell the what I would call must, decaying materials in the country, and it's something you get used to.
The 24 expat managers who lived there along with their families were in their own world.
There's our houseboat. Hi, Mom. What are you drinking?
This is pure, filtered, boiled water from Africa.
That's with the other yard boy. Where's Mom go? I don't know. She's over there.
You really didn't feel any danger other than a few of the rogues who would either break into your house or try and steal your money when you're in town shopping. Nothing seemed unsettled to me. I loved it. It was very, very enjoyable.
But outside the plantation's perimeter, a rebellion was brewing. It was 1989. Liberia's president, Samuel Doe, was losing his grip. Doe had cracked down, jailing opponents, eliminating rivals. It all came to a head on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve 1989, when a man called Charles Taylor emerged in the northern jungle declaring a revolution against Doe's regime.
You're right! You're damn right!
This is not a military coup. This is a pure civilian uprising.
If Doe opened Pandora's box just a little bit, Taylor, ripped off the lid.
Okay, Pop, this is not a military coup. This is a pure civilian uprising.
Yes. That was Charles Taylor defining the crisis in Liberia. That was Charles Taylor defining what the world should expect to go on. That was Charles Taylor telling the world that this is not a one-day thing, but this is a process that will go on. And if it is not attended to, Leo will go. Go to heaven.
Taylor, ripped off the lid.
Our leader! Our leader!
The man behind the revolt was a little-known American-educated, smooth-talking charmer, Charles Taylor.
I have told all of these men that we must be able to make a difference. We must be able to bring back what we've all wanted.
He was very slick, kind of used car salesman slick.
Bobby, smooth talking charmer.
Yeah, but I know.
Slick, American educated.
But at the late Bishop Marco Pagala Francis warned people about Taylor's slickness. If Taylor spoke to you, but you get a chance to speak to you, you under the spell of Gange. If Taylor spoke to if Taylor forced to kill your mother and your father and your siblings, and Charles Taylor just came to tell you sorry, but then you say those people had to go to God town, they were supposed to go. But I play.
That the magic of Gange.
The magic of Gange.
Salesman slick, and not particularly threatening or overbearing, but not the kind of person you'd buy a used car from either.
All I want to do is to bring back some sanity, some fair play in the country.
A evil, venal sociopath who was charming, glib. I knew he was a criminal, that he'd absconded with almost $1 million, that he'd mysteriously escaped from jail in Massachusetts. He was a very unsavory character.
At the time of the uprising, Taylor was running from the law, accused of embezzling nearly $1 million from the Liberian government. To pull together his guerrilla force, he had cozied up to several dictators in Africa, including Muammar Gaddafi.
Libya, we knew at the time, was a very pro-revolutionary country under Gaddafi.
Hold on, Bob.
Yeah, man.
He have cozy a number of dictators.
Yes. Taylor had when he say cozy, Taylor had submitted.
Okay.
Submitted respectfully or pretentious submittance. Cajole to several dictators in Africa, namely Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi from Libya.
Well, you're looking for any rebellious.
Exactly. He was in speaking quote unquote pan-Africanism. He accused up to the brand new leader who he had literally put into power of Burkina Faso, the land of the free spirit, or Brigadier General Blaise Compaoré. He accused up to the doyen of Africa, or the president of Cote d'Ivoire, Félix Houphouët-Boigny. He had accused up to the leader of Ghana at the time, of Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. You understand me?
Slick talking.
Through his slick talking. But then, with all that happening, the Firestone establishment, which was the second largest establishment in Liberia, U.S. owned, their managers, their administrators, from Akron, Ohio to Magibi County,
they didn't get what help.
Still thought that they could do business with this man. They knew that he was a maniacal sociopath.
And another thing, I think they overlook here and say, look, we are providing all this relief for Liberia, all this employment, all these currencies we bring in because of our plantation.
Exactly.
So I don't think they will get hot time.
I don't think they will get hot time because Firestone was the second largest rubber plantation in the world at the time. The largest rubber plantation was in Indonesia by 1990. The second was Firestone in the whole world.
And the third is Panama.
Fire, brother.
Gaddafi. And they were training Africans to be guerrilla fighters. And we had all sorts of intelligence informing us about that. And so Taylor and other Liberians whom he could recruit went into training there.
Newly trained, Taylor launched his offensive from the north with a small ragtag army with little to no combat experience.
You would have rebels advancing with their AKs held above their heads, just firing randomly down the road. There wasn't a lot of marksmanship. There was a lot of firing in the air. There was a lot of running away.
They were not in army uniforms. They were in like casual clothes, wearing wigs on their head, having some white chalks on their body. They claimed it was some protection against bullets. They were weird looking, really. But they were mostly kids.
These young fighters wearing fright wigs and shower caps and women's dresses and bathrobes and shooting wildly and wearing juju, the talismans of Liberian witchcraft.
As Taylor's army in masquerade wound its way towards the plantation, Elizabeth Blunt, the BBC's correspondent for West Africa, made a trip to Firestone to find out if the managers were concerned.
We were invited to Sunday lunch. A couple of other journalists and myself, we went off to Firestone, and it was beautiful. It was green, it was peaceful.
Who's that?
Okay, so that's the voice of the renowned British journalist that worked for the BBC for over 33 years. That even attended or was fortunate to be there for the execution of, ceremoniously, the execution of the late Liberian President Samuel Kanyando. Now, 6 months previously, we will get to that, brother. So, Elizabeth Blunt here in this documentary, and you will listen, was explaining the glory days of Liberia, the heydays, that you could come to Liberia as a foreigner and as a tourist. You didn't need for somebody to show you the Vakok shop where you would eat sour leaf or palawa sauce, or you could go to the bazaar place where you could eat domo and fufu, or you go to the Gyoko shop where they have GB, Gingba, and all the things for you to eat. And Zuglu inside too, and all the things. She was explaining the glory, the hair days of Liberia. Then she came down to telling us the days of the war, the revolution, what happened. Go ahead.
To Firestone, and it was beautiful. It was green. It was peaceful. We had lunch in the clubhouse. I think our hosts were working very, very hard to persuade us that everything was normal. I don't think it was as normal as they made it look. And I think they were hoping that if the rebels did come, that they might be able to carry on.
And for a while at least, they did carry on.
Firestone senior employees.
I said it to you, Papa. You
made their workers to think that everything was normal. Everything will be shut.
I try to explain it.
Everything will be shut.
When the rebel come because of the relevance and the contribution.
Because of Firestone's relevance.
They will protect
the rebel will protect them.
They
will continue to work, and everything will be all right.
And they will be exonerated from
all the
Fighters say we are here to make. Remember when the document said we follow the money. We are here to make money. Yeah.
And Pops.
Yeah.
What brought this identical documentary out?
Yeah.
Was the fact that who were Firestone paying revenue to?
It will come up.
Stone Gray. Manager Gray.
Stone Gray. Don't rush it. That's why we're coming.
It really didn't affect us much until we knew that they were getting closer to Monrovia and therefore obviously closer to us. I was hoping that actually the rebels would go around the plantation, not come onto the plantation, and we would be able to continue to operate.
There was a lot of political turmoil. Conditions were pretty good then, even under the circumstances, so we expected that if a civil war did get to Liberia or Monrovia, that it would be very quick and things would return to normal.
For the expats, life on the plantation was enjoyable.
We actually had a 9-hole golf course. The greens were oiled sand. Certainly during the rainy season, the fairways were nicer than they were in the dry season. You would have at least the length of your club to find some grass on which to put your ball. But it was nice.
We would stay in each other's houses so that all golf teams didn't have anything to worry about. Clubs would be open for the evening for the ones that really liked to party. And there also was a fishing club there that nearly everybody had a boat for. And we'd go deep sea fishing, have fishing tournaments, etc. You'd have a boat boy, took care of your boat and all that good stuff, and it was fantastic because off the west coast of Africa is some of the best fishing in the world. Wahoo, marlin, tuna, sailfish, everything is there. It was fantastic.
For Taylor, it also had the makings of a perfect base. The plantation center was in Harbell, named after the company's founder, Harvey Firestone, and his wife, Ida Bell. It was strategically located, only 45 minutes away from the capital, Monrovia, and right next to a key regional airport, Roberts International.
They were just such tempting targets. They had everything that a rebel army would want. They had fuel supplies, they had generators, they had communications, they had food. And they had nice facilities. They had clinics and they had really nice houses. So it was a very, very good base to operate from.
I would say whoever was going to run Liberia needed Firestone. And I think Taylor felt that he was going to be that man. So yes, he needed Firestone. Let's say we were very influential on what happened in the country and what went on in the country.
The story of the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company of Akron, Ohio, begins in 1900. By the Roaring '20s, the company was a household name, and Harvey Firestone had become one of the top industrialists of that Gilded Age.
There are few people who realize the importance of rubber and what it means to our commerce and welfare.
With its auto industry booming, the United States was consuming around 70% of the world's rubber. Most of it imported from British colonies in the Far East. Harvey Firestone was determined to find his very own source of rubber.
And I urge upon the United States to get relief by investing in a country under their own control. This can be accomplished in Liberia, but in
Liberia was ideal. The country was an ally of the United States. It had a large untapped labor pool and miles and miles.
Babi, let me draw your attention to something from on this recording.
Yeah.
The voice you heard was the voice of Harvey Firestone.
I know Harvey, my friend.
In the 1920s.
Harvey.
At a banquet where he is admonishing the United States of America.
Yeah.
To be influential in his company acquiring Firestone or land that he says Liberia is already under your control. But going further into that, hearing the leaders and the administrators of Firestone, they said, and I quote, "We had all sorts of intelligence." Papi, that's only the people
tell you.
They said that we had all sorts of intelligence that war was coming to Liberia, and we knew when they put it in order. So what did they do to stop the conflict from escalating? That over 1 million, Papi, I think we are being I think we are being very.
I would take the last one first.
Okay, let's hear you.
I would take the last one first. Business is about money. Business is about profit. You understand me? Firestone received every level of military intelligence that the Civil War will reach their territory. The Civil War will reach Firestone Company. The Civil War will reach Habel. The Civil War will have to pass through Habel to get to Monrovia.
The Civil War is coming.
The intended target. The Civil War is coming. Firestone knew that. And if the information, the intelligence that was given to them, the intelligence data that was given to them were given to them from the United States government. They were not given to them from no private military contractor. They were given to them by the U.S. government. But this U.S. government was also not in a position to stop any military insurgents that will go through Firestone. They won't be able to stop it, but they were telling them that it will come. Be ready for it. You understand me, brother? Be ready for this operation.
As a company that cared for Liberia and cared for the people of Liberia,
as a company,
I'm just saying they would have been instrumental in being at the crossing point at Butuo. It was at Butuo. Was that Butuo Park?
It was at Butuo.
Where they crossed from. They would have given the Samuel Doe government the intelligence that they had acquired, because it's obvious that Doe didn't have that intelligence.
The intelligence that Firestone received concerning an insurgents was news to the government. Government did not receive that intel.
But we say the same thing.
Yeah, but I want to say let me learn.
I'm saying if Firestone cared for this country that they are making millions and billions of, that they have invested in, that they had the intelligence, just like the old man said that the war will reach you.
And one thing I want for you to understand, Firestone is doing business in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I don't know that GDP by
heavy.
But it's that GDP.
Very heavy. Firestone was shipping rubber
if it were, let's say, $10 million.
Yeah.
We imagine in chaos.
Yeah.
Where they operated freely. How much you think they will make? They'll be making more because them paying the needed revenue to but our net worth will be around maybe $30 million. $30 million times 14 years.
Yes. The reason I'm saying this because and I don't want to give the end of this documentary. I want for people to anticipate what's going to happen. Firestone and their leaders acted as criminals, subliminal criminals. The reason I'm saying that is because to them, they thought by letting the war come, they will operate clandestinely and make millions of dollars.
And that's what they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Before they tried to thwart the operation that took millions of lives. But as the documentary will go, they got affected. And I think let's play this.
But you know one thing, Chief. Yeah. Before you go far, I will tell you something. Sensible men make stupid men to know to get sense.
Not it.
They thought they took Taylor to be stupid.
Yeah.
Later on, Taylor got sense, and that sense.
Let's hear.
Miles and miles of land for planting rubber trees.
The 90,000 acres was divided into 45 divisions. Each division having hundreds of trees, about 12 feet apart by 15 feet apart. So you had 8.5 million rubber trees, all in rows.
In 1926, Liberia offered Firestone a chance to develop up to 1 million acres of land at 6 cents an acre.
The Liberian negotiators were not knowledgeable about these things. So Firestone got the deal that said they would rent huge acres of land for small amounts for a long period of time. But I don't think that the original deal was in the very best interest of the country.
The deal was controversial from the start, but for the Liberian government, it marked the beginning of a convenient business partnership.
Firestone was huge in every way, and the revenues were absolutely crucial. So what would happen would be that the government, when it ran out of money, would anticipate the revenues. They would get Firestone to pay future revenues up front. So the government was always in hock to Firestone.
It was a mutually beneficial arrangement.
I put a spell on you.
Firestone eagerly courted Liberia's elites, holding parties like this one, where management invited Nina Simone to sing. That's Harvey Firestone's son, Harvey Jr.
No, Stungre, my son, my belly bone son. My belly bone son Stungre looks surprised. Stop, Stone. Ask me the question again. Ask me the question again.
Do you know who they call Nina Simone?
Nina Simone was not brought from America. She was living here when Firestone had a ball that we're talking about. Nina lived here.
So she met a war here?
No. This was long before the war.
We talk about the detectives.
This was in the late 1940s. Nina Simone was a young teenage artist at the time. Guess what? She left the United States and came here because Nina was part of the Black Panther organization. Was part of the Black Panther organization that was black rights activists. You understand me? And Nina was being hunted in the U.S. to kill. Nina lived here. Nina Simone lived here. John Amos lived here. So they ran a strip club called the Maze.
Yeah, the Maze.
Listen to me, Grady.
In Liberia.
They ran a strip club called the Maze.
In Liberia, yeah.
Right in Liberia. Liberia first strip club.
What is that strip club?
Don't get up, be flashing.
Yeah, Nikki.
Manju. Sorry, can I call you? That's stealing. don't get up, be flashy, but you tango jada no, but you, and then you're picking it, but you, don't get flashy, lap dancing, tada, before you know that 200, 300 is better. You are jonesing. Yeah, but so Nina Simone imagine you calling Karen.
I want.
Brandon now.
Yeah,
you know what I think.
It's like you calling Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
It's like you calling Latoya Jackson. It's like you calling. Yeah. Nina Simone was a master artist in the 40s and the 50s.
But she was living here with Firestone. Yeah. Yeah.
Both
people and they still taking it. And you're and guess what? The time we're talking about Nina Simone or John Amos, those people were here. Imagine Firestone get a woman like Nina Simone to perform at a banquet in Liberia. Soon after that, doors start laying down.
There you go, Bobby.
Fire.
That's Harvey Firestone's son, Harvey Jr., on the right, next to the guest of honor, Liberia's long-ruling president, William Tubman.
The country had been ruled since the 1930s by a man called William Vicanarak Shadrach Tubman Jr., who smoked cigars at war Hamburgs and appeared at official functions in tails.
President Tubman was an Americo-Liberian, a member of Liberia's ruling class, many of whom were descendants of the freed American slaves who founded the country in 1847.
Liberia was one of the very few parts of Africa that had not been colonized by a European power. It was settled in its more or less modern configuration by freed American slaves, and this group became known as the Americo-Liberians.
The Americos had established their own brand of servitude, which excluded from power local ethnic tribes like the Pele, the Bassa, the Kru.
The Americo-Liberians, to some extent, replicated the society that they left in the United States, but they became the plantation owners, and the Liberians became the workers. Not surprisingly, the workers sort of resented this status.
Life in much of Liberia mirrored the plantations of the American South. Some saw echoes of that at Firestone.
The entire structure of the work on the plantation was like in the South. That means you had laborers, and you had headmen, you got gang leaders, you have overseers, the same thing that used to operate in the South to control the workforce.
The people at Firestone imported here a lifestyle. And it was a lifestyle that was designed for the Americans who came from the United States to work for Firestone.
Officers on the plantation lived very nicely in attractive, comfortable, well-furnished homes. Their lifestyle was obviously on a plane greatly superior to that of the Liberians who were working with them.
The plantation had over 8,000 workers, most of them tappers.
I had never seen something like this in my life before. This scene of the tappers with the buckets slinging on their shoulders, moving around, emptying the cups of latex one after the other, and going to the truck and emptying it there and so forth.
Collecting sap was grueling work, sometimes done by entire families for a few dollars a day.
It's hard work, it's demeaning, and the pay is very small. If someone tries to complain, even though we were little, but we hear them say, well, if you try to complain, then people tell you, aren't you counting yourself lucky that you have a job? You gotta stop complaining. So people just live with it like that.
Liberian middle managers had it a little better.
I'm Justin Knuckles.
I was hired in Firestone in the year 1973. And I worked for Firestone in various position up to 1990. The firehouse I have, what I can say was terrible because you have to get and go and use the bathroom outside.
Firestone happened to be one of the biggest employers in Liberia. Firestone was next to Namco. But Firestone labor practice was very horrible. Now I'm not deviating from the involvement in the war in the bureau, but I'm saying that the labor practice was very horrible. Firestone will have to come to books. But I 100 years from now, Liberia will reach to that level where we'll be advanced. How we do in the United States, where you call the person after 100 years, you say your grandpa did so. Why your grandpa did it? Are you responsible too? You understand me, brother? You getting my point here?
Yes, sir.
Firestone should have alerted and protected her workers from the carnage that was about to unfold on them. But Firestone was very selfish, and all they thought about was the profit and how to gain profit double from Liberia. But I tell you, Firestone couldn't stop Firestone alone could use her influence and stop the war.
Yeah, but this is where
yes. Let's turn to this. This is where I want us to go to, and then the road will be clear for Liberia.
Let's at 5 more minutes of it, and then I think that part will come where we get.
Yes, but Firestone could have stopped the war. Go there, but play it for.
You have to get and go and use the bathroom outside. You got to do everything outside, and a lot of flies. It was terrible.
The houses have now changed. But up to 2002, that was the type of housing they had. I mean, no running water, and about 90% of the people live in that condition.
But in one of the poorest countries in the world, Firestone offered its workers generous benefits.
I got a scholarship coming from junior high school because I was the second in my class. And then I got a scholarship again to go to college. So they pay my tuition in college.
I can say you consider yourself blessed if you were in Liberia working for Firestone because
Stone.
Great.
One of the good things about the Blooming Show, as much as we criticize, we'd always say it when it's done. I don't know what about Firestone High School. They always do wire.
In the last 35 years if you go to school in Firestone from kindergarten to 12th grade, your foundation solid more than
it's almost like you know you writing for like you like someone else when you tell it like you
solid. You know, in the last 35 years, and that include war years inclusive, right? Firestone Staff School, they got a name for it, a Broadway. Firestone Staff School have done the national exams that the Firestone people. The system, the curriculum is international. Yeah, I mean, children from school to school. And guess what? The teacher making around 5 6 how you bribing? How you bribing teacher?
So those are some of the attributes.
Firestone. That is the positive attributes.
This is the good thing about the Blue Show. We give you of course the worst is
Firestone and Naylor, but the good.
Okay,
so you're blessed if you were in Liberia working for Firestone because Firestone have good educational program. They give you food, they give you water. You didn't make much money. But for men to live, you got to have certain things, and Firestone provide those things.
But the Firestone workers were not immune to the resentment that was building across Liberia. After 133 years of Americo-Liberian rule, a young enlisted man from the Kron tribe changed the course of Liberia's history on April 12, 1980.
Liberia's President William Talbert, a descendant of American slaves and a good friend of the U.S., was assassinated today in a coup led by an Army enlisted man who said that they're fed up with the government corruption. The new head of the government is the 28-year-old sergeant named Samuel Doe.
Master Sergeant Samuel Doe eviscerated Talbert in bed, disemboweled him. Doe then invited the world's press to come to Liberia to witness the execution of all the cabinet ministers that he could lay his hands on.
It was very shocking, really, because of the way they executed the cabinet, who were old men, who were civilians. I think people would expect them to be locked up after a coup. They wouldn't expect them to be tied on the beach outside town and shot.
The execution of the Talbert cabinet on the beach, broadcast live on Liberian television, sent a pretty clear message that this was his country to control.
For the first time since its birth, Liberia was no longer run by these mulatto, lighter-skinned Libero-Americans, but from someone from the interior.
Doe gradually filled government posts with members of his Kron tribe, many who were uneducated and ill-prepared to run a country. One of the notable exceptions was Charles Taylor, who had recently returned from Boston, where he had received a degree in economics from Bentley College. He worked his connections and became the head of the General Services Agency.
Doe, who...
Stop right there. Don't move. If you move, I'll shoot you. The last member of the Americo-Liberian oligarchy. Now, this is where where I get very deep, and this is a show before 20 I want to get deep.
Go deeper.
The final survival.
Go deeper, Daddy.
Of the Americo-Liberian oligarchy.
Go deeper, Daddy.
You're starving. Americo-Liberian oligarchy. The final standard bearer.
So true, Daddy.
But I let go.
Sorry, Chief.
Of the true weak party that had ran the affairs of Liberia from 1871. And
what is the oligarchy?
The oligarchy is a higher class of aristocrats.
The cults.
A cult.
With origination from the USSR, Russia.
The oligarchy.
Yeah, the oligarchy.
The gang. The cult.
Yeah. It's similar to a mafia, a cult.
Yeah. You misbehave, your thumb there.
Yeah. You Yakuza
when
style.
they forgive you, the thumb.
Yeah, you gotta leave a phalange to say sorry. You gotta leave something finger and oh my head.
So man,
and you get cry. You really require because you're sorry, you have a finger. You gotta say cut it one.
Everybody you cut you off one finger.
Then you cry. Even they begin. Mama. So Talbot was the last from 1871, from the death of Edward James Roy in 1871 October. The True Wheat Party ruled Liberia until April 12, 133 years. Do the mathematics.
Strict.
No other party won election in Liberia,
including
and now
28 years by President William Victor.
And now, yes, and this rulership was literally, I've said the word again, truly, literally dictatorial, because there were no there were no elections coming down the line. You understand? From 1871 all the way, all elections I was scared.
You come into a difference.
But I'm moving there. Okay, Sorry for the diversion. So Talbot was the last, okay?
That the police are gonna come get us right now. I gave them a fake name and fake number.
Oh God.
And then
my hand I hit different things.
Okay, and so Samuel Doe took over.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, brother? The coup d'etat that changed Liberia.
Doe, who was a pretty uncultured man at the time,
okay,
had the good sense to put Taylor in charge of the office, which appropriates funds for government purchases.
Taylor used the position to gain influence with Doe.
Okay, so Samuel Doe, after eliminating about 60% of the Toba government, ministers, chief justice, speaker of the House of Representatives, president pro tem of the Senate, formed his government, but then included in America Liberia as his chief of procurement, a man called Charles MacArthur Taylor.
Slave rake.
Later on, Gangi.
Later on, changed his middle nomenclature from MacArthur to Ganke. Traditionally is a Gola name.
Slave rake.
Slave rake. Taylor comes into the picture. Taylor becomes one of Samuel Doe's last self-appointee / confidant. Self-appointee. Taylor appointed himself at GSA.
We still appointed self-appointed at GSA.
Yeah.
Almost like OP honor.
Exactly. Taylor gets himself over there. Because Doe are giving all ministerial positions out. You understand me, brother? Doe are giving all ministerial positions out, and then Charles Taylor, who was the in-law of Samuel Doe's most trusted lieutenant, Thomas Kwiwonkpa. Charles Taylor was loving to Thomas Kwiwonkpa's niece
by the name of
Tupi, yes. So Tupi 175% Guillaume. Tupi is loving to Taylor. Tupi is Taylor's fiance. Tupi is with Taylor when the coup happens. Tupi spends 90 days at the Bagley Training Center along with Charles Taylor. Not confined, but hanging out with the commanding general, Thomas Gongaman Kwiwonkpa. Tupi is there with Taylor. So Taylor, as in America Liberia, even though America Liberians are victims of the revolution, but Taylor is a revolutionary hero.
And that,
yeah,
on the morning show,
yeah,
there's an excerpt that always play.
Okay,
Taylor said it.
Okay,
he said it, and he always made reference to Kwiwonkpa.
But yes. Taylor all Kwiwonkpa until now in a jail cell. Thomas Kwiwonkpa made Charles Taylor the prominent man he is today, even in jail and in crime.
Different show, different
day. Let it be Wednesday.
Let's go ahead.
So Taylor is made GSA director, chief of procurement of the Liberian government.
Strategic.
Very strategic position. But no noise behind a choir.
Government janitor.
Taylor leaves after a problem with a $1 million scandal for fire trucks and auditing. Taylor leaves. He flees to United States. But before he flees, he's appointed as deputy minister of commerce. But in the noise from his former position, he gave it. While Doe was in Switzerland. And Taylor goes to America. Ivory Coast first, then to the US. Firestone is aware
Ofo is president of Ivory Coast.
Ofo is president of Cote d'Ivoire. That's why Taylor is very comfortable in Cote d'Ivoire, because it was Taylor that saved Ofo's daughter, Daisley de la Fosse.
Are we backtracking? Yeah. Are we backtracking?
You understand me? So Taylor stayed in Cote d'Ivoire briefly, very briefly, in 1983, and then goes to America. But Firestone is aware of Taylor's movements. Right play, man.
To gain influence with Dough's staff, he bought new cars for the cabinet and surprised Dough with a stretch limousine. But as head of procurement, there were other opportunities.
As you can imagine, that was a very lucrative job, and he made a lot of money. And nobody really minded until the money he made was President Dough's money, and then he fell out with the president and fled to the United States.
Dough accused Taylor of embezzlement, demanding his extradition. Taylor was arrested and locked up, but not for long.
Charles Taylor makes a rather dramatic prison break from a jail in Massachusetts, along with several other inmates. All of
Taylor, I think the narrator, even the people from Firestone, they're being very comical.
No, they're not being comical.
Taylor rather makes a traumatic prison break.
Yeah.
Look, let me say this. And this is my take. There were over 1 million Liberians' lives that got lost from the crisis.
Exactly.
The Americans, the blood of those people are in the hands of the Americans, because they could have stopped this war.
I agree. Firestone
probably the level of respect, even up to now, the level of confidence and respect Liberians have for Americans is unprecedented. If Liberian men see 10 U.S. soldiers, a 1,000 Liberian, during those days, if 1,000 Liberian Marines see 10 American soldiers, and they tell them, say, drop, Pape, drop your weapon. Our 10,000 soldiers will drop our weapon because we have respect
for Quibris,
for America,
for Quibris.
But they did not do it.
But again, I say something before you continue.
Yes, sir.
The most depressing, the most depressing thing that ever happened to the Liberian populace was when they found out, or when they realized that America leaving us to die. It was the most depressing thing ever in the history and mindset of Liberia.
And I'm coming there.
America leaving us to die.
Let's fire.
Massachusetts, along with several other inmates. All of those inmates are eventually captured. Taylor is not, and regales in the afterwards that it was the CIA who helped break him out of that prison, because he was destined to lead the rebellion to bring down Samuel Doe.
There's all kinds of legend around it, but it seems he had a kind of underground network of people who helped him. He literally disappeared. Nobody knew where he was.
We heard all the rumors that he had been to the States and escaped from jail and was making his way back to Liberia.
4 years after the jailbreak, Taylor's forces began their assault, heading towards the Firestone plantation. Day 1, Tuesday, June 5th, 1990. Last evening, 8 p.m., reported rebels crossing river towards factory area. Donald Ensminger was the head of the Firestone plantation when Taylor's rebels stormed in and seized control. Much of what we know about what happened comes from Ensminger's diary and a phone interview. He declined to appear on camera.
I found him to be very genuine, very nice man, genuinely cared for us as expats and for the rest of the people who work for Liberia.
We found Ensminger to be very rude, very uncooperative, and a very arrogant son of whatever.
In his diary, Ensminger notes that 8 to 10 rebels burst into the golf club, demanding vehicles. Later on, they took fuel, bags of rice, handheld radios, and petty cash, including $40 to the rebel leader, Peter, a hothead.
Now, this is where reality kicks in to Firestone. Now, fighters have been overlooking the rebel activities they put in. We white people.
Yeah, they can do that.
So they put down cars in there and say, "You get out your car.
Get out.
Get out. Get out.
You move from here.
See you say that you heard.
C.O.P.T. In Yemen, C.O.P.T.
Yeah.
It take $40 from the Firestone women for the women. That damn tango. $40 play the money. 1990, $40. You never put many shit. They never Araco. You see US dollar safer looking at. They may see $40.
So guess what? Reality then kick in to them. See what they coming to. Population.
Fire.
A hothead and drunk. Ken Gerhardt was stationed down the road from the plantation at the Coca-Cola bottling plant, a property of Firestone. He was in constant communication with Ensminger.
We still had radio communications, he and I. And, they were saying things were heating up because they were getting so many demands from Taylor's army. Money, food, whatever, They wanted whatever they could get. And unfortunately, when they couldn't get it, they would go out in the villages and take what they wanted. So things were really heating up.
They knew we were going to be out for trouble. They went to your house if you had a private vehicle, or even Firestone vehicle, park in your yard, they would take the vehicle, take valuables. I mean, they said that they were at war with Mandingos and Crowns. So they were looking for Mandingos and Crowns, and as they identified them, they were killing them.
President Dough's forces, the AFL, were mainly Kron. Dough gave the order to push Taylor off the plantation.
AFL came in to, got on the scene and targeted people from the places and killed them. This was a kind of a seesaw, a battle that was happening.
And it appeared, from my perspective, that it was turning more into a tribal warfare, in essence. Doe, who was a Kron, from the Kron tribe, certainly didn't have any love loss between some of the other tribes that were apparently joining in the rebellion with Charles Taylor. And we knew that people were getting killed. We knew that it was very dangerous for them. From my perspective, a little apprehensive to determine what we would have to do, whether it would be safe for us to stay on the plantation or whether we would have to evacuate.
The U.S. Embassy had advised U.S. citizens to evacuate, but the managers stayed put. On June 7th, day 3, thousands of Firestone workers fled their homes. Steve Ramo took these photos. Many of the workers sought shelter at Ensminger's mansion.
We started to see people walk towards the house. And like it was then more, and we estimated somewhere around 1,500 people were standing in front of the general manager's house seeking refuge. They were crying, they were afraid, and they wanted refuge.
Many of the expats, too, gathered at the main house.
We would, during the day, kind of try and keep ourselves occupied. So I still played golf. Some of the other guys did, too. And we just watched to see what would occur. We were hoping that once they had this initial battle, that things would move off the plantation. That was my hope, anyway.
As the battle raged, Firestone workers continued.
So, Papi.
Yeah, man.
So it was a seesaw, it was a battle at the plantation?
It was a heavy battle between June 5th to June 7th. June 5th, in fact, June 4th, And this is why I told you to pause, because I had to come in, because I wanted to explain something. The head of the MPFF 1st Battalion Special Force, Edward Mle, all forces, and Black Shama Amapaba is my witness on this. You hear what I'm talking? I am on radio, not in people hear me all over the world. Amapaba is my witness on this. 1st Battalion under Edward Mle called a general muster in Buchanan on the 4th of June, because the MPFL was as far as Bokestown by then on the Canon Rawafi Highway. MPFL final checkpoint was at Bokestown, Buchanan Habel Highway. You understand me? Edward Mle called a general muster. Almost all the soldiers, MPFL, that attacked Firestone came from Buchanan through Bokestown, RC Lawson mission, to attack the Firestone Rubber Plantation. But the attack at Firestone was simultaneous to the attack that went through the Farmington River bypass from a place called Owens Grove. And the leader on that attack was a special force called Putu, the late Putu Major. So MPF attacked Firestone from two fronts. Black Shama Amepaba is a witness. Edward Mle attacked from the Kota. Putu Major attacked from the riverside through Owens Grove. But then that's what pushed the Firestone workers to go to Division 45, because it pushed them back like they thought it was safer, because 45 is geographically northwards towards you, that you go into 14 Road and Kakata Way. So they went there in front of the general manager house to ask for safety, to say where we're going from here. Press play, man. To ask where we're going from here. I'm telling y'all 1 trillion% fact in the civil crisis. My president.
Firestone workers continued to seek refuge at the main house, but Ensminger says he had no other choice but to turn them away.
They told us that he cannot take us in, because we are the ones who will be protecting him, not he protecting us.
He said, it's Liberians that are coming. You are going to be safe among your own people. You don't need to come in. So only the expats can come in, not the Liberian staff. It made me feel very bad that that present management did not care about the well-being of the black staff. You know, hell was breaking loose, and they didn't care for them.
We were concerned about them because certainly being a part of the tribe that Doe was a part of, we knew that they were going to be targeted. But as far as being able to protect them, we had no way to do that.
It was a very emotional moment to say to all these people, I'm sorry, we cannot harbor you, we cannot protect you. Oh, I felt like crying. It was sad, very sad. In fact, I get choked up, like I'm nearly getting choked up now each time I tell this story. And it was very emotional.
BBC World Service at 18. Another entry in the diary says that the workers were fed rice and told to leave. We can't offer them protection from either soldiers or FF. FF, Freedom Fighters, a reference to Taylor's forces. By day 4, heavy fighting erupted between Taylor's rebels and Doe's army. Like many workers on the plantation, Mary Poley had no place to go.
I started working in Firestone. My husband and myself were there on the Division 1.
She recalls the day Doe's forces barged into her house looking for Taylor rebels.
Muchatiraki wakili Kwame duo soja wakili two wakili, and where I was at, my husband, he took my husband from me one morning. They stripped him naked, no clothes, he only lived in his brief. They carried him from me, I crying, they kicking me. They kept my husband way behind the bank hall. They killed my husband. I never laid my eye on the body. They came back on me, raped me. They wanted to kill me and my children. The next morning, Jana Grace was 3 o'clock in the morning. I left with my children. I joined in the bush.
Day 9. We are totally helpless.
The final blow was when they came to his house where he had assembled most of the managers so that they could be together. And one of them threatened to shoot him with an RPG if he was there the next day. And then we got them all out and left the country.
After 10 days, Ensminger ended his diary with these words. But for the Firestone employees on the plantation, the ordeal was just beginning.
So, Ensminger,
Donald Ensminger,
and his staff of expats,
white people, I don't sorry to sound racist.
In the midst of the conflict, they graciously leaves
the plantation
747 aircraft from the Robert International Airport, leaving the multi-million-dollar investment into the hands of the Liberian workers and the rebels.
So, Bernardo, you can safely say that the last flight in 1990 that took off from the Robert International Airport prior to the burning of the terminal by the 1st Battalion of the National Patriotic Front and the 1st Battalion, you know that 2-4 Battalion were fighting? But let me just say this first. The last flight of a 747, a pickup from RIA in June of 1990 was the flight that took the Firestone staff, the Firestone expatriate staff out of Liberia. Evil. Because 747 could have carried many weapons.
The police are gonna come get us right now. I gave them a fake name and fake number.
Put you to the border? Put immigration?
Sorry, boss.
Still great, you hearing me? Tango Jada, you hearing me, eh? Because you know what I said,
plantation, the ordeal was just beginning. Justin Knuckles awoke to find a note from management on his door.
We're sorry we're going to stay. We hope to return when things improve.
And how did that make you feel?
Very, very insecure. Because we hardly believe as long as the Americans are on the plantation, we have a little hope. But now the Americans are gone. What's going to happen to us?
Over the course of the next several months, the killing continued.
Well, if they're the right tribe, they survived. If they weren't, they didn't.
Gerhardt's employees at the Coca-Cola bottling plant were not spared.
I had approximately 350 people, and 17% of them had been killed. My driver, my secretary. The story that bothered me the most was my driver. First time he was beaten. Second time they cut the soles off his feet. Third time they shot him.
They cut the soles off of his feet?
Yeah, right. With a machete. It changed my whole perspective of what was happening in the country. No longer did any of us feel that it was going to be a swift coup and so forth, and human rights would be, adhered to, but they were not. It had pretty much got really out of hand then.
Over the following months, competing factions fought for control of the country. It was a civil war, marked by atrocities on all sides. After months of bloodletting, Taylor and his NPFL gained the upper hand. By the fall of 1990, Taylor had seized most of Liberia, with the exception of Monrovia. The capital was still up for grabs, contested terrain. And President Doe became the most prominent casualty. He was captured and stripped to his underwear by a former Taylor commander, the warlord Prince Johnson. Elizabeth Blunt was trying to set up an interview when gunfire erupted.
I was stuck in the press officer's office with a gun battle going on all around me. While I'd been lying there with my eyes shut, I heard the president's voice, which must have been when they were taking him away, and I heard what I was sure was the president's voice going, "Please, I beg you," and I knew his voice. He was bleeding very heavily. I think he probably just died from loss of blood, but they were trying to interrogate him. He died sometime during the night.
It's hard to process sometimes. Certainly evil was taking reign in Liberia. When evil is given opportunity to reign freely, these things occur, and we experience them.
In the late 80s, 40% of the latex used in America came from Firestone's plantation in Liberia. In the industry, Firestone's product was considered some of the highest quality latex in the world. At company headquarters, top managers were under pressure to get the Liberia operation back up and running.
When you can't produce latex, can't produce block rubber, can't get it sent out to the end users, I would assume we were losing lots of money.
It was a big deal because it was their own source of rubber for the tires. And it was the largest plantation in the world, and they had a market established over many, many years, so it was very important to them.
Firestone had been bought by the Japanese conglomerate Bridgestone in 1988, and the corporation had been losing money. Executives in Akron began to plot their return.
Firestone's intent was to make money. Always has and always will. We're in the business to make money. So if it's not making money, let's make it so it does. Why did we go back? Because we felt sorry for the people that were there? Probably not. We wanted to get the investment earning money again.
One of the first things management did was hire a Liberian attorney based in the U.S.
The meetings actually took place in Akron in 1990 at the old big Firestone headquarters, a big building there in Akron. The discussions focused on what to do next. Would you have to deal with Charles Taylor? Could you do that? There was tremendous worry about the safety of their employees, most particularly the 8, 9, 10,000 Liberians that they employed. So how can we help these people? What do we do next? So it was a real dilemma for the company, and a lot of, I would say, soul searching and really tough decision making that had to be done.
Much of what we know from the era comes from corporate records that until now were buried in a long-forgotten court file, and hundreds of State Department cables obtained through the Freedom of Information Act. One of the earliest documents we found was a letter signed by Donald Ensminger on October 3, 1990. It's addressed to Commander-in-Chief Charles Taylor, requesting a meeting. The second one, sent a week later. All sides need to recognize that Firestone continues to incur major losses as a result of hostilities. Then, 3 months later, one of Taylor's aides sent a letter back to Akron. President Taylor has directed us to inform you that your team should come to Harbel to make the necessary assessment of the plantation. A few weeks later, a small group of Firestone managers headed back to Monrovia.
We were each given a survival kit. That's your responsibility. The mission is to go back and start the plantation, start up the plantation.
The managers had been away from Liberia for 8 months. They were shocked by the country they found.
It's a disaster completely. I saw very few dogs left, everything been eaten. All the palm trees have been cut down for the cabbage on top because everybody was starving to death. No cats. And if you saw a rat, he was big because he'd been well fed. On the streets, when I started driving around, you would be driving over human bones on the streets. You couldn't miss them.
The managers found it hard to get to the plantation. Taylor was making life difficult for them.
The rebels were on the plantation and up to the suburbs of Monrovia. The higher management was talking about getting back onto the plantation, but I think we realized that somebody didn't want us to go back to the plantation.
So they waited. In Monrovia, there was an uneasy peace. The city was in the hands of an interim government, but the interim president was president in name only.
The U.S. had abandoned us. The United States government officials were very clear that there was not to be the nature of the intervention that many Liberians expected. The concern I had was that there was an interim government without any constitutional basis. There was Charles Taylor, who by force of arms had taken most of the country. And these two different governments from a legal or constitutional aspect had no legitimacy, if you will.
The task of keeping law and order was delegated to a West African peacekeeping force that went by the acronym ECOMOG.
The acronym got converted by Liberians into every car or movable object gone, because these West African peacekeepers spent most of their time stealing things and looting the country and shipping it back, in most cases, to Nigeria.
For Taylor, they were foreigners, war tourists, posing for pictures. Without a foothold in Monrovia, Taylor set up a parallel government in what he called Greater Liberia, with a new capital in the town of Bonga.
Whoa. Probably, you know what?
Yeah, but I want to continue.
Of course, we're going to continue. But before you give your parting statement, let's get the acquiescence of our listening audience.
Yeah.
086 107 107 0770 107 107. What did you learn? We're taking this program somewhere. This is a 3-series program.
Yeah, 3 series.
Today is part 1. Next Wednesday will be part 2.
Week after next Wednesday will be part 3.
The lines are open. Let's hear from the callers right now. 086 107 107 0770 107 107 086 107 107. Let's see if they've learned a thing or what they have to say. Hello? Hello? Sorry, there.
Where are go? One thing. Take microphone.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, sir. Where you call for 1 minute, sir, please.
Okay, my name is George, and I join you from Douala.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the show. I've been following the show. I much appreciate you guys for the show. Thank you for enlightening us.
Okay, Judgy, thank you for calling and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Judgy.
Judgy, continue listening. But Wednesday is a brand new show. We'll continue the process. Yeah, Baba. So keep listening so that you can find some facts to call later.
Yes. And I like where we stop it at. Hello.
Yeah, brother. Hello.
All right. Let's see if we can get that call back. 086-107-107-0770-107. All the lines are open. Let me open this one too. The main line not even open. This is the line that is not open.
The phone dial, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, but that's somebody calling. There's a call coming.
Yeah, let's get one.
Hello.
The main line probably that should be going out.
Mojing.
086. Let's see.
Right. Getting blind, getting you. Well, Mojing kind of calling. Mojing.
All the calls are coming in. This phone is dead.
One of my main in there, Mojing. Answer that one. I'm calling.
086-107-107, 0770-107-107. How do you get 266? Hello.
Somebody didn't drum. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. This is Matt Cardo Jr. and I call you from Logantown.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the show. I've been listening to this show from 2015, but I hardly call. I just like to listen.
Right.
Yeah, you listen. Learn more.
What did you learn tonight?
Tonight, the narrator did not do justice. I really want to know who arrested Charles Peter and where.
But in counter that, we told you it's a 3-series show.
But it's a 3-series show. They're going to arresting.
That's why you got to keep listening. Nothing was there.
That's the result of opium.
Hello. Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I was going to tell you, Papi, they can wait to be taking all the time explaining. You only see the guy to happening. You know, they show up drama, probably show now in the bureau.
But anyway, enjoying it.
You can tell the representative thank you too.
Other representative, you are true, you will make on the show, but the way they discuss issue, they will say you only see the guy to happening. It's too brilliant, man.
Thank you, my son. Thank you.
That's the brilliancy of the pops. That I tell you. I've been working with him for almost 1 year now. And let me see. All the lines now are
plugging. Hello, Mujing.
Bro.
Hi, sir. Where do you call from?
I'm fine. My name is Lavi Feka. I joined from Do Community.
So DC. Let's hear you, Chief.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the show. But you see, like you guys said in the story, America does not care for our well-being.
If I wasn't a representative, I would say like America doesn't give up about Liberia, but I can say it.
Yeah, I know you are honorable, man. So you won't go that route. But for me, I believe that America doesn't care for the well-being of Liberia. They only want to get some.
The documentary said that one of the leaders of the Firestone plantation said that we had intelligence that an insurgent was coming to Liberia and they didn't do anything to stop it.
They didn't do anything.
Thereby causing almost 1 million Liberian lives lost.
Exactly, because they had the power to have stopped the war, but they didn't.
All right, thank you so much. Let's get more callers here on 086-107-10770. Hello.
Good evening, bro.
Yes, sir. Your name, where you call from?
I call from Lower Magidi. My name is Daniel E. Williams.
Let's hear you, Daniel.
Yeah, Bob, how are you, man?
All right, my son. All right, what's up? You are listening?
I've with Blue the hell was there now.
Don't be fair.
Don't be fair. Next week we'll see what we can do. But
okay, I really want to be on the show next week.
You're giving paying people.
Yeah, I really pray that next week you will sing for me, but I want to be on the show. Well, but thank you for the show today, Pop. What I want to say, all you say is true. In 1990, after the war ended, Killer ran that farm. Killer even had a company that called Marco. Marco was tapping the rubber and Killer was shaping the rubber, selling it.
Exactly.
You even need a special person who was your Domingo Ramos.
Domingo Ramos, yes.
He was the chief of security then at that time.
Yeah, Vice Chief of Security. He was living in Cotton Tree, Domingo at the time.
Yes. But Killer started paying the tappers good money to the extent that tappers were making $450 US. They were still winning the minds of the people. When we were controlling Marco, I worked with Marco and one of the plane protection officers to PDD, we were making $450 JJ that time. So all you see is
next week we'll get you.
But let Daniel call you no more.
Daniel, you made Daniel go. Hello.
Hello, Papi.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Papi. You want the general? Why can't you all? You want the general? You give all the story.
Oh, but so the American people are general too. You hear the American people talking to? I will.
Yeah, but you tell because you know all the story about the class.
It look like you won't be walking man now, but you bypassing.
Yeah.
Dog.
Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hi, sir. Where do you call from?
Yeah, I'm Momoke Bawa calling you from the Matari Community as Gmail Rapper.
Let's hear you, Chief.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Pop. I always listen to him, and I want to congratulate DJ Blue, the honorable representative of this case. The show is
Thank you. You got a business honorable man coming here just to give our people these information. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, no, but you talk about what we learn. You see, I learn a lot. You see, America is now a help to this country that I learn.
Absolutely not. We'll break it down more on the series. Hello.
Hello, Blue.
Hi, sir. Where do you call from?
Yeah, Peter and Minga.
Peter?
Yeah, Pop, how you doing?
All right, now you the Peter who the Donald Elmingo don't want to kill him in Vice, no?
No, sir, no, sir.
Peter Steve Fodder that happened in the packet.
No, not me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pop, I want to appreciate you tonight. You are doing extremely well for us. Tonight I learned what we learned in high school.
Okay.
I must say, they is the best non-political and educated show I've ever listened to, and I always glued to my radio whenever you guys are home.
Where are you listening from? Where are you listening from?
Johnny from Omega.
Omega, that's what's up. Okay.
Okay. That was
and I pray that one day the people will talk about Omega too, so that.
Oh, but I talk about Omega, but maybe you listen.
We talk about Omega.
But we talk about Omega, yeah, Papa.
Hello.
Omega Navigation Station.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember Omega.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Well, I was story about Omega. Yeah, we'll tell you about Omega.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Where do we call from?
From Omega.
You call from Omega again?
Born in Firestone, real specific division 26. But you people really came my mind way back then.
Alright.
I remember one Moses man who attacked Firestone June 7, 1990. In fact, when he first came, he said he was a freedom fighter.
Moses man? Hello?
He tried to kill from Division 28, Division 26, Division 27, and 5, Division 35. The first guy he looted was the ambulance for Division 28 Hospital, Farmington Health Center.
Wow.
And then he started killing some people. In fact, some guys that are due for Firestone way back. So he already carry my man back, man. So who came,
my man.
They said we're freedom fighters. That's why they ready to destroy Firestone.
My man, God, that way you gotta keep listening. Hello. Okay, listen to Pop.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So they Mosek Ban guy. Mosek Ban that was it could not be a one, right? You know the name of a unit. You know any other name for any soldier that was with him?
Well, they were many because in fact what they did is that when they attacked Abel, when Charles Drew came and then he said that those guys who went to Abel, in fact one sergeant from Division 28 who went to Abel to seek for rest.
Is it Charles Julu?
Yeah, Charles Julu. Late Charles Julu came to
from
Abel.
The AFL, yeah.
But then the fighting was between MPFL and AFL.
Yeah.
And then Charles Drew came to Habel and took those guys to Monrovia and they accused those guys that they were rebels. But those guys were not even rebels. They went to look for food in Habel to get rest for their family. Yeah. And then they took them to Monrovia to kill them. So you know when I listen to such a show, I can really feel bad because of what happened in Firestone. But then Moses Pan, I did not know the division he came from. But he said he was a freedom fighter.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
But then you know, hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Where do we call from?
Yeah, I do. I'm from Brooklyn. Out of the car.
Let's hear you.
Yeah. Evening.
I'm okay, man. I've been trying to get in I've been so long. But, like, to the topic, I see the part is very, very wonderful. Explaining some stories, some cool stories that, as we always say, those schools in Liberia will never teach it.
All schools will not teach it.
I saw the part is a decent way. The thing about Firestone was a multi-million dollar company, but not to do CD for Liberia we made a use.
But then you remember Liberia woman using conjunct, Firestone making conjunct. But
let me tell you what this series show is about. We want to educate
your serial
and
participation,
sensitize the people.
You don't serial.
Make a judgment. If Firestone was not a culprit to the war, if they could have stopped the war, if they could have done anything to prevent over 1 million Liberians from losing their lives, if they were doing business with the rebels, if the old Liberia retrospectively, this is what we're trying to find out. Let's get to the line. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Where you call from?
I call from Kim Johnson.
From where?
From Kim Johnson.
Kim Johnson, let's hear you. 1 minute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Chief. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you for the show, man.
Thank you. We'll keep doing the show. You know, the main reason of the Blue Show is not everything political. It's you got to educate. Hello.
Yeah, Honorable, you caught me off. You did not allow me to end my
Sorry, apologies. Like 1 minute, please. All the lines are up.
Yes, sir. The narrator said Charles Taylor was accused of embezzlement and was arrested. By whom and where?
I want you to keep that question for the last segment. These are how perplexed we are, and those are the same questions we're asking. You agree?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Talk to the power with me, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know where need to come and get my looking view.
Is it what happened to the town? Is it why you were speaking English? Everybody hear you? Papa?
Okay. So I take probably all the lines are up right now. We take approximately
three
more callers on the hotline.
But I was just spend one thing.
Hello.
Oh, you never know, Jenna.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, sir. What are you calling?
Hello.
I'm Orlando S. Tula and I do join from Chicken Factory.
Commando, what is it?
Yeah, Papa, you know, really, the part where the American, they go in the plane and the drug they employ behind, and I want to get him. If I only be that at the tower, like those days, I was not going to allow the people to come back in the place.
Thank you.
Because
that's why we are going to listen to the part 2 and part 3 series, okay?
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, we got startling revelations that are going to come out. You haven't even listened to the whole series. It is Firestone and the Warlord.
Firestone and the Warlord
by PBS. I think it's a brilliant recount of the fiasco,
the whole fiasco
at Firestone, and you know, Firestone still operates.
With regard to that, yeah, they still operate you.
We must educate our people. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Yes, sir. Not bad.
Yeah. Let me just shout out to you. Happy to see you.
Happy to see that.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Yeah, happy to see you, man.
Yeah, thank you for the information.
Where you calling from? Where you calling from?
Tell you. Tell you.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Where do you call from?
Yes, I'm Gina. I'm coming from Simple Beach.
Simple Beach, how are you?
So and I'm waiting for airing the program. You know, I for one, I never this who are your work and coach. I didn't support it because I said that they will have long pass and then we have to fall and go ahead. Until I watched that the documentary that you just showed concerning Firestone and the warlord.
Yeah.
And you know, we're talking about war crime, food and economic crime. So I think what we should be talking about also is to get Firestone to pay. No, I mean, she should be held in account for role in the war, because I mean they were supporting Taylor, giving money to Taylor, and Taylor was killing people around here. So I think Firestone should be made to account for both war and for the war and economic crime that were committed during the war.
Thank you. All right, on board. Hello. All right. Papi, it's almost 10 o'clock. I promise the people will be here at 10, Papi.
But I know we'll be here at 10 o'clock.
About what? That the promise we gave to the people.
Promise that devil.
Promise that debt.
Yeah.
So we'll take a few more callers. 086. HOTT FM number is 086 107 107 or 0770 107 107. We have 10 minutes at 10 o'clock. Maybe we will check out. Before that, okay, let me make sure all the lines are on. Okay, yeah. All right, so Pop, thank you so much. Let me make this announcement to our people. So tomorrow I will remark at the occasion in District 17.